Hello, everyone. Cindy here. It's really dim lighting. Not that that really matters as I'm doing my hair on the live. Anyways, I hope everyone's having a great Friday. And you're doing well, you're enjoying the event, and there's a couple things that are on my heart to share, and I hope that some of you guys start joining. I don't know if you join, give me a thumbs up, give me some hearts, let me know that you see me, that you're out there. And so a couple of things that I definitely want to touch on today. And I also have to tell you, the weather outside here in San Diego, it is frightful. We are supposed to get up to 60-mile-per-hour winds. Not that I like to talk about the weather all the time, but it's kind of crazy here. So we are gearing up to stay in. So at any rate, I wanted to talk to you guys about sex. I actually kind of do. Hi. Oh, hey, Susan. Gosh, you're so good. I wanted to talk to you guys about our interviews today, one of them in particular, where we do talk about physical intimacy and what have you. And one thing that I want to touch on, and somebody was asking about this the other day, and I'm going to get kind of vulnerable today because I want you guys to see me, know me, and I'm trying to cross my legs here and get a little more comfortable. And really be able to serve you in the best way possible. So feel free to ask any questions because I want to answer those as well. Or just make any comments like Happy Friday. So one of the things that came up was body image. And body image is a really big thing, especially for women. And men have it too, but it's completely different. And here's why. The thing with women is we live in a culture, right, that there's a lot of what I call, I don't want to say sensationalism, but what's the word I'm looking for? Objectifying of women, and women even objectifying themselves. And I touched on this in one of the other videos. And even just to take that a step further, I was talking to a gentleman. I like to interview men, and just regular men. And this man happens to be 50 years old that I was doing a little interview with, and he was telling me, I said, so what do you think? He likes to give his female friends a lot of advice. I said, so what do you think a lot of their challenges are? And he goes, I find that there are a lot of women that might post pictures online that are provocative and that are suggesting something that they aren't. So I would tell you, ladies, this is to stay away from that. And you can put a great photo of yourself where you're smiling. And, I talked about this before too. And you've got, you show, I like chest up, a full body shot. It's all great. It's all good and fine. But the other thing I want to tell you is that if you get too provocative, you're just sending off the wrong message. So he was saying that, and he said that the other thing that he sees, and this is from a 50-year-old man, he said, I think that women will tend to jump into bed with men too quickly. And then it changes the dynamic because the man's not ready to be committed. And I would suggest for a woman to not not do that unless she's certain they're in a committed relationship and maybe they've spent several months together. And that is coming from a man. Clearly somebody who is, is into healthy partnerships, right? And understands that piece. And men may try anyway, but I want to go back to, I can go off my train, right? So I want to go back to the body image thing. Somebody in this group, and I'm so sorry, I can't think of who it is right now, but she was saying, I feel like, I need to be, look better or more slender or whatever. And I looked you up, and you're gorgeous and you're beautiful just the way that you are. And there are men out there that love women in all shapes and sizes, all of our curves for all of us. And I'll even share something with you quite vulnerable for me, and it's tough. It's been a journey lately. Is that so I have, many of you know that I have a 3-year-old little baby boy named Maximus, one of my loves of my life. And he, before I had him, I was a size 2. But I worked really hard to get there. I want to say I'm probably a little more voluptuous, and it was a battle for me, and I really worked on nutrition, and I worked on, getting fit, working out, and I stripped everything out of my diet. I did some really crazy things that you guys would just go, whoa, but I did it. I followed a plan. And it's similar to following a plan in this area of your life, right? So let me fast forward. I got pregnant. I ate a lot, and I had my baby boy. And ever since then, I've had a real challenge taking off the weight and getting back to where I once was, and it has prevented me from allowing myself to be seen to I've allowed it to prevent me from being seen to the best in my best light. And I'm done, you guys. So I've committed to doing my journey again, and really committing, because I would stop and start. How often this can be connected to your love life too. And, I'm 20 pounds away from being back in my bikini, and I'm not going to go another summer not doing that. And I want to be healthy and vibrant and great and chase after my son in the park. And it's really important to me. And I want to look healthy, fit, strong, so this isn't about me, but this is about that body image thing. Men love women in all shapes and sizes. You do not have to be perfect, but what you do want to be is you. And don't allow that piece to control you, but continue working on it. Continue working towards what it is you want. In the interview one of the interviews featured today with Mia, we talk about sex. So we talk about, being in the bedroom and being comfortable with yourself and learning how to communicate in that way. And part of this all comes from a self-loving place. And, commitment, this area, love, relationships, all of it is connected. It's about committing and staying committed. And, what are you willing to do to get where you want to be? I've had several mentors. I always have a mentor for an area of my life that I need help with my blind spots on. I get educated. And, I would just tell you to look at that piece. Look at, we're in open enrollment for Love University, which is my year-long program. And you guys can feel free to message me or ask me about that. But this isn't why I'm here. I just want, it is this area to master it, to do well, to show up as your best self. There's different pillars to it. And it's learning about that healthy communication and why we get triggered, right? Because we all do. I do. I'm not perfect. I've been triggered a lot. And at times, but when you understand where it comes from, usually it usually stems from some sort of wounding or childhood stuff. And it can also stem from abandonment. So there's a fight or flight we'll take. And, it's never that, the men are unavailable or they're nasty or whatever. Oh, hey, Kim, I see you. Rebecca, cool. It's, water seeks like level. So what you're seeking is seeking you too. So if you're seeking to up level, you're seeking to bring in that love and joy, you can have it. It's all yours. It's just what kind of, you've got to, I always call it reverse engineering around this kind of stuff. So who do you want to be? Who do you want to attract? Are you being that woman? Are you becoming that woman? And that's one of my clients. Sorry. I'm getting notifications, you guys. Sorry. And if you're becoming that woman, then he's coming. So understand that piece and understand, okay, so I get emotionally triggered when, someone says they're going to call and they don't, or I get emotionally triggered with online dating sites when I reach out to someone and I send them an email and they don't respond. You never know what's going on with people, and it's not a big deal. And that just means that that it's leaving space for the right person to come in. So notice, what is that? Why do I feel triggered? Why do I feel like, why do I feel rejected for some reason? Because it's not personal. It's never really about you. Everybody has a type. Everybody has a kind. Everybody has types of people, and men fall in love with your essence. But when you learn, and you can start, if you start tracking your emotions, and I'll give you guys a challenge. And I'm actually thinking about doing a really cool challenge after this event, which would be including tracking yourself and your feelings. So if you can track your feelings throughout the day, like, I'm committed to getting up at 5:45 a.m. in the morning. Why? You ask? Why, you crazy person? I actually think if I woke up at 4 a.m., I could really freaking conquer the world. But I'm getting there. So I'm committed to waking up at 5:45 because I have a spiritual practice. And I do my visualizations, I do a meditation, I really get centered and calm and prepared for the day before all the other things start happening. Then I also have some time to do my reading, also go through some of my emails, things like that before the day starts with anyone else at home. So it makes my life easier. And then I have a schedule from there. So this scheduling in your love life, taking time for it, understanding what those pieces are. And does anyone have any questions? Like, do you have a burning desire question on Friday afternoon as we're heading into the weekend? And I'll be on here tomorrow. But, you know, don't let anything stop you from your dream. You've just got to figure out how to get there. So feel free to reach out to me or ask me a question. And, you know, this is a private group. And you guys, we all have areas that we want to grow and we want to become better and we want to understand ourselves. You know, I call it almost being a student of life and a student of love. And really, you know, do you have a difficult time with boundaries? Well, let me tell you something. I grew up in a home and my parents both loved me to pieces. And what would happen is my mom would punish me for something. She would say I was grounded. And then she would cross the boundary. She would let me off the hook after a couple days, and I knew it. So I knew that I could push those boundaries. So I didn't learn about boundaries. So what have I done as an adult? It's something I need to be conscious of, is I'll push a boundary, or I don't, or not setting a healthy boundary, right? And, you know, it's something you definitely want to do with your children, your pets, you know, all those things. And it goes in everywhere in life. I'm aware of this. So I've sought that awareness. I see the patterns and I can, you know, and I do it really well with my clients too. And we can really seriously go into and go, okay, so this is the thing that's triggering you. And how are we going to shift that? And I'll give you some techniques. Like, one of the things I will tell you guys is do some deep breaths before doing anything. Like, okay, take a couple of deep yoga breaths, like, and when you do those, it calms the emotions. And, you know, we break it down. And do you know that if you focus on gratitude, what you're grateful for, what am I grateful for today? I am grateful for this cozy home that I get to live in. I'm really grateful for my health. I'm grateful for, you know, I can think of a lot of things. I'm grateful that I get to be on live with you guys right now. And when you lean into gratitude and think about what you have right now in this very moment, and not about the things you don't have, but the things you do have, you can accept and allow more abundance. You know, I think I mentioned that I like to do a gratitude list once a month. And it's an A to Z gratitude list. There's a 5-minute gratitude journal that you could do 5 minutes a day and get into that space. So if you can dip into that, and if you're feeling triggered, this is something else that I can tell you that really works. Instead of acting out on that person, place, or thing that you're feeling emotional about, you can reach out to a friend. I tell this to my clients all the time. Reach out to a friend, reach out to like 3 or 4 different people. Ask them how their day is. Ask them how they're doing. Be of service. And when you're in service, you can get out of your own head and get into your heart, get into connectivity. And it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys got a chance to listen to that call, that group call. It was about connectivity, and you can create deeper connective partnerships by simply just asking those questions, and partnerships with your female friends. If you're on a date with a man, one of the things that I can tell you, and this creates connection, one, if you're not comfortable in your own skin, if you're not comfortable with yourself and who you are, then you're going to show up like a chameleon. And men are intuitive too, especially a healthy guy. He's going to be like, something. And he may think that you're adorable, but they might pick up on an energy thing like we do too, right? Like, I don't know about this guy. So if you can drop into your body and be conscious of where you're at, be present in the moment, and understand, even if you don't agree with a man, when you're first getting to know them, they'll really open up to you. And if you can lean into it by saying, okay, tell me more. I think I understand what you mean. That must have been challenging. Or that was, wow, what a great accomplishment. And, I hear this a lot. Women will say, oh, I'll go out on a date and a man will talk a ton and he'll talk himself up all about his accomplishments. He's doing that because he's trying to impress you. And have compassion for him because they're nervous too. And a man will not talk as much. Sometimes if you just put your hand on his arm and you say, wow, that's really impressive. Or that must have been really challenging to get there. How did you do that? If that's sincere to you, right? And it's by having more of those interactions and practicing. My clients will tell me I ask them to practice all the time. And I'm not kidding. And they get sick of me. And I say, well, how badly do you want it? It's how badly do you want it? What are you willing to do? And the way we do one thing is the way we do all things. So if you tend to get frustrated if it doesn't come easy, I get it. I've been there. I feel that right now sometimes. Let it be easy. But if you lean into it and have fun with it and are playful, it becomes much easier. And if we, those thought processes, I said I was going to talk, and I want to touch on those limiting thought processes that we get. Like, oh, I'm not thin enough, or I'm too old, or I look younger than my age, and, the men my age, it's like racket, mind racket. Let me give you an example of my mind racket. I literally, I've been doing a 5-day challenge with my business coach, which has been really cool. And she was talking about generosity. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm being generous enough. I wonder if I am generous enough. So here's my mind racket going off. And she goes, a couple of the love coaches in my community, Cindy Olin, and she talked about a colleague and friend of mine, Nicole Moore, will do anything and are super generous about helping women find the love of their lives. And I was like, oh, okay, that's affirmation. I am generous enough. But I want to help you guys in this community. So those limiting thoughts can stop us from, it's like we will have a glass ceiling. But why not you? Why not you bring in what you desire? And understand those parts that trigger you or you don't like about someone else. You've possessed them. You might have them in you. And it can be released. It can be shifted. And really know that you're continuing to move forward so that you can create the relationship of your dreams. So it's simple, I know, but complicated in some ways because we don't know what we don't know. So I'm going to give you a couple rules of thumb this weekend. If you're dating, let men reach out to you. Do not reach out to them for any reason. You are the receiver, and you are meant to receive. And receive happily. Let them ask you out. And when you respond back, text messaging, I'd wait an hour. And that's just, and that's, I'd wait an hour or so. And if you're doing a text message conversation, if that starts to happen, you're the one that needs to exit first. So you just, after a few little messages, you say, more on that later, gotta run, heading out to dinner with friends or whatever. So please comment, ask me questions, let me know if this helped you. If it didn't, I'm here, and I will be here every single day for at least, you can get at least 5 to 10 minutes of my face. And I will go deeper into those limiting thoughts and how we release them throughout. I'm going to thread it in throughout these Facebook Lives. So I'm sending everybody lots of love and have a wonderful night. And mwah, 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 everyone. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining. Bye.